Hi everybody, finally got around to doing another video for those of you that are interested, and it's good to hear or good to see a lot of subscribers, so thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Special mention to, I think, to Robert, who took out one of my referrals, so I appreciate that. That definitely helped me last month, and you'll see why in a minute. So thank you very much. Let me start the video. So as you've seen in probably other videos, I'll leave this ticking along in the background, and you can kind of see where I've got to today up at the top bar. So anyone joining new, this is just me kind of rambling on about my installation, which started in March. I think my battery was fitted in July, and I've just had the Zappi fitted beginning of September. So yeah, so not that long ago. But the video will run, and you can see all the numbers if you're interested in terms of my total energy. So bear in mind it's from let's say April. One thing I think I put in one of my other videos as well was about Home Assistant. I've kind of decided that I'm not going to use that with Givenergy. I'm just going to stick with the portal. I'm not sure if I show it on here, but it started to give me some inconsistent readings, I think, back to the portal. So I found that there were big gaps in the data. I don't know why, but as soon as I stopped it on the Raspberry Pi, all the numbers started to come back through for the next kind of half an hour. So in the end, I've decided to reinstall the Raspberry Pi with Home Assistant, but I'm going to use it just for the Renault, because it gives a lot of information for the Renault, which is really useful, and a shame it's not on the app. But for the Givenergy, I'm just going to use the portal or my access to it through the APIs, which some of you from before will have seen. I'll show you in a minute the page that I built to show all my numbers. So Zappi was installed beginning of September, so what's that, nearly 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and in true fashion, it turned up and it was broken. So I don't know what it is with me, but it doesn't seem to go very well. Hopefully everybody else is getting a better experience, but it was quite strange really. So it was all fitted, all worked really well. It took a bit of time to get it, but it was all done. And then we just went to test a few things and realised that actually the up button wasn't working, which in the scheme of things isn't, you don't think is a big problem, because you can kind of get around it. So I managed to lock the screen and everything on the Zappi. However, I have found that it means that you can't set the export margin. There's a specific setting within there, and it means you can't set it. And because of that, I think that the Zappi thinks that my battery is, as a solar is the excess. What happens, or happened at the beginning, was it just started to discharge my battery at 5:30 in the morning. So I thought I would write or put a message in with Zappi, and it appears that they can't actually change any of the settings on the Zappi. So after a couple of emails, which is really frustrating, so I can't press up, therefore I have to work it in a different way. So in here you'll literally see that I've set my car on a schedule and my Zappi on a schedule, and hopefully they align, and therefore ultimately it doesn't drain my battery. But I'm a bit disappointed. So it took nearly seven or 10 days for my energy to actually get back to me, and a couple of days to look at it. The email response wasn't brilliant, and actually they can't control it. So I need to wait for my replacement front panel, which I actually have. I've had it a little while, just waiting for my the fitter to come and fix that. But I can work around it. It's not critical. The main thing is I can charge my car, sort of 3 times faster than I could before. So that's the main thing. As a result, actually, yeah. So I can now charge my car about 60 or 70% overnight in the 5 hours, and you'll see in a minute. I've not decided to use the whole 5 hours. I tend to use 4.5, but at least it's working now. So I can do a lot of it from home rather than using the slow trickle charge, the granny cable, and paying companies to charge it. especially as some of the rates are going up to £1 a kilowatt, which is a ridiculous amount of money in my opinion, but there we go. So just talking about the Zappi and the charging, what I've put together here is just a visual of my portal over over a few days, and you can see the difference when the Zappi starts putting in. For a lot of you that have got the Zappis, it's nothing new, but if you're new to this, then it might be of some use. So let me start this going. I might be stopping it at certain points like this. So at this point, this is where I'm using the battery as much as possible to discharge into the car, and then I'm trickle charging it, or granny charging it, whatever, at 2.3 kilowatts, which was just enough to keep me going, but you have to plan days in advance. So on here, discharging the battery, charging at 2.3, and then I'm using just charging back up like I would with normal solar, so it's charging the battery and then charging it back up to 100% using the solar again that night, discharging it again, that kind of routine. And you'll see this on for a couple of them. So this one again, discharge, recharge, and then trying to get it up to 100%, and trying to change some of the charge to options in there. So but again, looking at it depending on the weather. Another one very similar, and again you can see discharging battery at the end of the evening, and all the beginning and end of evening, and trying to get the most out of it, trying to charge it up. So this is the second. So this is when it's all kind of changed. So this is the second, the day before, or the day of my fitting. So you can see normal routine, discharge, charge, that kind of thing. So it's running, the battery and the car at the same time, and then I'm charging from sort of 10% right up to my charge to of about 50% or 60%. Now you can see where it's completely changed. So I didn't charge it for the whole evening, but I've charged the battery to start with, and then sort of 2:30 in the morning, then decided to do a charge to of about 55%, but then let the car charge as well. And this is where I got a little bit caught out, because you'll see at the end there's a little bit of battery discharge, which was because I don't think I can set it on the Zappi. Once I get that sorted, hopefully that'll be resolved, but you can see it's charging a lot quicker. And again, same here really. So it's starting to work really well. And what I've done on this one is I've actually decided that because I can charge the car and other things, I've now actually decided that what I'm going to do is put the immersion heater on for 30 minutes, because there's just no solar, or there's less solar in the day. Judging it is a bit more tricky, so to charge the battery to 100% and then do the immersion becomes a bit tricky. So what I've done is I've stuck the immersion on for 30 minutes. So I do that 12:30 till 1, and then I charge the battery and the car, and you can see here there's a bit of that, and then so the immersion and then the battery and the car are all starting at the same time to give me sort of 10 kilowatts in, and then I just put that full on until 5:30, and again battery slightly discharged at the end of it. I think this was before I set my schedule on the car, and then the normal got kind of running. So again, same kind of principle, just quick charge and then away you go. And these are the kind of patterns you can see with just the immersion and car. So that's over and over. This one you can see there's a charge to, so the battery's run down, and then I set the charge to on Givenergy to 30%, trying to work out what the estimated solar is going to be, and I think I've kind of worked out, I'm sure I can do it a bit more mathematically, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but if I kind of get, if solar is saying I get about 7 kilowatts, that keeps me even through the day. I only use 250 watts while I'm working, so I can keep it flat. So if there was 7 kilowatts expected in the day, I would charge the battery more, probably a 60, 70 odd, maybe even more percent, more probably in the winter. And then anything over about 11 or 12, I can get the battery charged up to 80 odd percent if it's on about 30. And again, you know, those kind of scenarios, I just need to work on those, I think. And depending on the length of light that we have in a day, it's all going to vary. But plenty of things to think about. Okay, so here's my dashboard that some of you may remember. It's the first time, if it's the first time you've seen it, it's probably a little bit complicated, but it gives me what I need. And again, this is all built pretty much from the Givenergy API. There are a couple of bits in here where I have to go to the iBoost, so I just feed that in, and you'll now see that on the right hand side we've got the Octopus actual because I've found that you can actually download your data from their website. I hadn't noticed it before, so I've actually just run that into a spreadsheet, put in all the costs, and I know that matches back to my my bills, because my bill for last month was £49. So again, thanks to Robert, who's helped with that, because the referral is £50 either way. So last month my bill was practically zero. I think it was actually £52, but because I run not complete months, but no. So that's been really helpful, and as a result, also to show, I've done 2,500 miles in my car, so quite a big saving really in terms of diesel and petrol. So the Soulcast data will be what I'm trying to look to get me a better picture of how much I need to charge my battery to. This is using the charge to option within the battery, and at the moment, you know, on a good day, I tend to charge it to a few percent, just to let the solar do the rest. Don't want to be paying for it where I don't have to. But if it's not such a good day, maybe I'm getting 7. I can see there's 7 or 8 kilowatts per hour expected, or in total. Then I will tend to set the charge to a little bit higher, just so that I don't run out during the day. I only run at 250, maybe 300 watts during the day when I'm at home on my own working. The estimated payback, you can see, is dropping. This was done, I took the value and fed it in at the end of August, and it was running at 9.25. But now you can see, even a couple of weeks on from that, it's sort of 8 and a bit now. So again, I can see it dropping. Hopefully it's accurate. It gives me a good idea. Here's the daily, you know, yesterday and today's solar, and then I've kept it for the last few weeks. What I'm trying to do there is just capture how much electricity I'm using, and then therefore how much am I paying on a daily basis. I must admit, it would be nice if unless I've missed it, the Octopus site did that. Gives you the kilowatts, because you can go back and look at it, but not the cost. So here's my attempt at it, and I'm pretty sure it's close. So you can see these are the days I'm charging the car, so just gives me a good picture. Solar's dropping, coming into autumn, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, I've been quite lucky from the end of, you know, sort of April, end of March, April, all the way through, to get, you know, some good solar out of it. Just going through the middle section here, the blue is my cost of electricity, the orange is therefore the amount of diesel and petrol. So this was where I started looking at the car, and that was my sort of break point once I put the solar and the battery on, to then look at what's this other cost, and it's fuel. So it's sort of going out the tailpipe to nowhere. So that's why I looked at the car, and you know, averaging around the 300 to 400, the orange, or the pink is the solar saving, so that's my expected saving throughout the day when I'm obviously using the solar myself or storing it in the battery for later on. So quite a saving there. Last month, not the 718, but it would be, you know, £209 less than that. So you're looking at the 510 would be my cost for the month, and that's based on the fact that 340 odd is the car. I'm still having to put a little bit of diesel and stuff into the car, and then my electricity is the little bit at the bottom. So I'm quite pleased that's £45. And you know, you can see that matching that back, if I've got it right, matches back to the Octopus one of 49, so it's very close. And for this month at the moment it was 29 against 30, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Fuel cost is a lot lower, the cost of the car is lower, and again, bear in mind that's over the last, I've had the car about 5 or 6 weeks, that's 2,500 miles that I've put into the car using the electricity. So overall, yeah, that's looking good. I have okay, so, and the estimated savings, estimated cost of using the overnight charging, I've put it about £35. So I've tried to work out how many kilowatts at, you know, 8.25, and the amount of charges. So when I was on the granny charger, that was where I actually had to put in the cost, just charging on the standard, you know, pod point or whatever it might be. So last month I spent £30 on that. Hopefully this month it'll be a lot less again, so a bit more of a saving. Hopefully that was helpful. There are a couple more pictures. Well, let me just get those up, which are some of the other things on the Renault and that kind of thing. So some of the other bits that maybe add to that. Okay, so just a couple more images. So this is my gas bill for last month. No, for this month, sorry. And as you can see, it's, you know, it's quite low. It's literally just the standing charge because I'm using the immersion heater. That was last month, and I need to fire it up and make sure that my heating's working, otherwise I could be in trouble for the winter. And again, you can see pretty much, and the other months before that were, when I had it installed, were the same. And this is quite bizarre. So this is my gas bill, and even now, so bear in mind this is from around about April, May time. This is my I don't have electricity with them anymore, that's with Octopus, but this is my gas, and even now they're saying I'm paying too much. That's clearly wrong, and I think, well, I have got savings in there because it would have been from before, but basically it's not a lot of electricity. This is just an example. So this is what the Renault, I can't remember if I've shown the Renault Zoe app. So this is me doing 1 day of charging. So again, 28%, and then right up next morning, 90. So really pleased with that. The Zoe's a 52 kilowatt hour battery. So, you know, and you need to charge it, you know, once, you know, every so often really, depending on what we're doing. And especially as now the kids are back at school and back at swimming every night and all the rest. So this is hopefully what, you know, the purpose of it was to run the kids to swimming and save the cost there. This is the My Energy, this is when I had it fitted, and this is the option I'm trying to set to stop the solar or the battery being the battery being used. I think I need to set that to 50 or 100 from what I've read, and actually Givenergy, the My Energy people came back and said you need to set it higher, and I was like, yeah, but I can't, because I can't press up. The only button, bizarrely, that I cannot press is up. So I'm hoping to get that fixed soon, but I just set the schedule on the Zappi and on the car. This is what it looks like on the Zappi if you've not seen it. Playing with some of the days, I've set it for 1 o'clock in the morning, so give me my half hour, and then, you know, 4.5 hours of charge basically. and you can see at the bottom, and then it's taken my battery, so you can see that little bit at the bottom. Again, similar kind of thing, until I figured it out, and that's what happens. Clearly it just tags along and then just completely drains your battery. Luckily that was a good day, so I then was able to charge it back up. If it had been a not such a nice day, I would have been paying for the electricity cost, but luckily got away with that. And then that's the Zappi screen, if you haven't seen one. Yeah, so it's kind of diverting and saying where it is. The only other thing, if you haven't seen it, just to put that in, is being the Renault, and now a Renault Zoe owner, I managed to get a test drive in this. This is the new Renault Megane, and I have to say it is very nice, but I'll say no more than that. People have their own views on Renault. So anyway, thank you very much. Hopefully that's everything. Any questions, give me a shout. If I've got completely confused, then you know, anything's confusing you, I've confused myself at times, then let me know. If not, I'll try and get another one out in another month or so, and get an idea of where we are as the winter slowly approaches and we get less solar. But thanks very much.